Hi everyone. Today we're going to talking about interesting topic, which is how to connect it or make the VPN connection between GNS3 Cisco router on it and connection or make a VPN connection to the Azure cloud services. So this lab probably not gonna see as a use case in real environment, but it will be helpful a lot when we do lab environment or when we need to do some exercise or some lab information to understand how the VPN is work, how the VPN work with the cloud environment. So the lab will be included, as you can see here. This is represent my computer here, my PC. In my PC, I have a GNS3. In GNS3, I'm gonna use Cisco Router IOSV with the loopback 10, 20, 20, 20 slash 24 or slash 32, whatever. That guy will be used for test. And I'm gonna use this link to connect it to something in GNS3 they call NAT. And this NAT in GNS3 help you to get out to the internet through the GNS3 application. So that NAT actually is connected to my physical interface here, and my physical interface, they have connection to the internet. And my physical interface, I got public IP. I will show you how to get your public IP. It's just very simple. You write it down in Google, my IP address, then you can get your public IP. We need public IP in this side in order to establish the VPN tunnel. And of course, we need it in Azure as well. Okay, so we need one more thing here. We need to get the MAC address for physical computer. My MAC address physical computer, as you can see here. I wanted this MAC address to configure it inside this interface. This interface will be gigabyte 0/0 here. And I wanted this MAC address hosted here in order to make the router can establish the connection for VPN. This part will be in my computer. This IP 192.168.155 or whatever, maybe that IP is different in your environment. This IP, you're gonna get it from the NAT when you connected here your GNS3 to the NAT. I will show you this part first. As you can see here, this is my router, Cisco router connected to this NAT option here, okay? And this NAT connected in the back to my physical interface in my computer. So this is the environment in GNS3. How about in Azure? In Azure, we're going to use Azure VPN. Azure VPN included another components they call local network gateway and the connection gateway as well, another two components. And we will establish the tunnel as well between Azure to GNS3. As a final test, I will spin up one VM here in the Azure, and the loopback is over there in the GNS3. So I will try to ping from VM Active Directory or Windows Server or any operating system. I try to ping through the VPN here. I try to ping to this IP loopback in the router. And from the router, I have to do as well the same test in order to make sure and verify that IPsec or VPN is work properly. So I will go to the router as well and generate a ping traffic from the router, go to the VPN. This is the final test will be. So this is the lab environment. So I will start from Azure first. So let's get started. All right, as you can see, I'm in Azure portal here. I go to the virtual network gateway here from the Azure. Then I hit create virtual network gateway. From here, I just select the name. I just put it VPN 01-01. And I have to also go with virtual network. I put it the virtual network. But before that, let me put it the Region is very important. I put it all my stuff in central US. And virtual network, I have already created one virtual network. This is, and my network right now 10.5.6. And public IP. Public IP is very important. I put it VPN dot 01 or -01. And I will go with the availability zone 1. 1 is enough. You can put it as well if you want zone redundant. But right now, for test purpose, zone 1 is enough. Now, after that, review and create the virtual network gateway. As you can see, the name is VPN01 and the public IP will be VPN01. That provision, they take around 20 to 25 minutes. So I will pause the video and I'm back when it's ready. It's ready, as you can see, and is ready for VPN gateway. I will go to other option for VPN they call local network gateway. Local network gateway also one click and create. And I have to select my resource group. And I think your resource group, of course, is different based to your core configure. I keep with the central US. Then after that, the name, I just put it VPN-01. I keep the same name, easy to remember. Now the IP address. IP address, remember, this is the public IP of GNS3, the public IP for the peer. We call it here, or Azure, they call it your local IP. So I can, to get it, go to Google, write my IP addresses. Then you can see this is my public IP address. So I get a copy from that. I'm going to go there and paste it. This is needed here and very easy to get it. It's just my IP address in Google, then you can get it. So next, here you can turn it on the BGP. I don't want it right now, and just create. That one should be, create. That one should be not get more time. It's supposed to be very quick. And after that one ready, we're gonna go to the connected. We need to another or the last piece of VPN they call connected. We can configure connected from the local network gateway from this option. I'm gonna go there in the VPN. Right, I go to the resources. As you can see, this is my resources. This is called connection. So when I click to the connection, add connections, I just put it any name. I just put it VPN-01, keep it the same name. And after that, you select site to site and you select your VPN gateway from here. You can put it secondary VPN gateway. You don't need right now. Then after that, you put it the shared key for Cisco at 123, or you can put it any shared key, pre-shared key they call it. Then after that, IKU protocol, you want V1 or V2. I keep it default V2, then I hit OK. Now the connection is ready. Let me show you the connection details, because the connections is really interesting and they can show you if you are connected to other part or to other side or no. Of course, there is no any other side configure yet. As you can see, the status here, they call it updating, will be changed to unknown, because there is no any connected. There is no any configure other side in GNS3. So I will go there to the connected. When you click to VPN-01 connected, this is the shared key and this is the configuration. You can change the phase 1, phase 2 IPsec from here, and you can pick whatever any protocol you want. BGP you can configure from here. Back to overview. In the overview, as you can see here, the status is unknown and my data in, data out is still 0 because the VPN is not established yet. I go to download configuration and I pick Cisco and I put it the iOS ISR. This is in GNS3 in my side, and just put it 15, the iOS version. That one, they give you the configuration need to other side. Is very interesting thing. As you can see, they give you text file, all the configuration you needed to put it in other side is here. You don't need to add anything here. Okay, this is the configuration file is very important. I wanted just to show you something here. You can replace any keyword they call replace, you can replace, man, but let me show you something. This is they call phase one, and this is will be phase two, okay? And this is the interface configuration. This is the interface tunnel configuration. You don't need access list. You don't need any access list. Sorry, this one, the interface configuration. So what I change here, I change the tunnel interface. Let's just start from tunnel. I change the interface tunnel 110 rather than 11. I just put it 110. And I changed the source interface to gigabyte 0/0 because the interface in GNS3 Cisco router will use 0/0. And this is an interface change. No any change in phase two. Phase one here, we need to change something. This is the phase one. We need to change the local IP. This IP is the DHCP in Cisco router interface gigabyte 0/0. We will see this IP. It's come from NAT in GNS3. I changed that one. And this is the public IP of from Azure from VPN gateway. You go here, you can find it here, the public IP, as you can see here. And I change this one as well, same private IP as well. And again, this IP from Cisco router, from DHCP, you'll see it in the configuration later on. So I changed only these three things. In phase one, I changed the private IP, and in tunnel interface, I just changed the source to the physical interface. Perfect. Now the configuration in Azure is completed, and I have the configuration in from Azure supposed to be in Cisco router. So let's go to GNS3 and complete the configuration to other side. All right, I'm in the GNS3. As you can see here, I picked one router, as you can see here, and connected to the NAT. NAT you can pick up from here, NAT. And I put it in G0/0, as you can see here. And I will start to configure my router, turn on it now, and I will go to CLI to configure. But before to go to the CLI, I wanted to know my MAC address for my physical computer, because I want to use that MAC address inside this interface. So I do IP config, as you can see here, and this is my wireless MAC address here for this. Where is the wireless MAC address? My MAC address is here. I wanted the wireless adapter, which is this. So this is my MAC address. I will get copy from this MAC address. Then I'm gonna use that one inside my Cisco router gigabyte 0/0 interface. So I go to GNS3, then I start to configure the interface G0/0. So config T interface 0/0. Then after that IP address, I will put a DHCP because he will take a DHCP from Cisco router from the NAT. MAC address, I will put the MAC address like this. Paste, already copy from there, as you can see here. And just adjust it based to that, right? Then after that, Control Z, then show running interface configuration. I wanted to see the configuration is there. As you can see, it's just two line IP address DHCP and MAC address here. And let me do, I don't get the IP yet because the interface is shut down. I will do no shutdown right now. Interface G0/0 and no shutdown. Let's wait a little bit time. As you can see, up supposed to get IP, private IP here from the NAT. So show IP interface brief. As you can see, I get IP address 192.168.122, sometime 155 All right, let's go to the text file and copy phase 1, phase 2. I already copied the private IP and put it in the text file. So just copy paste the text file, phase 1 and phase 2. All right, so I will go to copy the phase 1 first. And after that, I copied that phase 1 first. Then copy, I just got Cisco router now and paste it. Make sure everything is okay. I go to a second option, which is phase 2. As you can see, I just wanted to write it here, phase 1 done. Then after that, I have to write it phase 2, copy phase 2. Is something they call PFS. PFS, we don't need to configure it here in Cisco. PFS, they call perfect forwarding. So I just ignore that one. As you can see here, is not configured. It's comment out. We don't want it. When this one down, now phase 2 is done. As you can see, phase 2 is done. Let's configure what? Let's configure the tunnel interface also here. So I just copy the configuration here. I already changed the IP, as you can see, 22.1, or you can pick any IP at the end. It's private, it's best. So you can see my ISA KMP is on, and my configuration in Cisco router is look like completed. And interface tunnel, or the tunnel interface done. Now all the configuration is completed here. So now what are you going to do? Now we need to check show IP interface brief. As you can see here, the interface is down. The private is up, but you can see the tunnel is down. The protocol is down. Mean the VPN is not up yet. So we need to configure something in Azure. All right, back to Azure, because we need to add something in Azure in local network gateway. In local network gateway, go to it inside and go to the configuration. The configuration for local network gateway, you can add which network allowed inside this tunnel or allowed through this tunnel. So I just put it 10.0.0/8 and I just save the configuration. You can put it any private IP, 1918 IP address, like 192.168.172. So once it's saved, I just keep monitoring here in my Cisco router. If the protocol become up, mean my tunnel is established. Perfect. As you can see, the tunnel is changed status to the up here, and it's supposed to be work right now. So if I check, or if I do show IP interface brief, as you can see here, I can see the configuration for tunnel is become up. And right now the tunnel is established. Let's back to Azure to make sure something. Go to the connection. You remember the third part we do in the VPN. You see now connected. And again, in and out is still 0 bit. That means there is no any traffic through that. So what I'm gonna do now, I will gonna add a static route to the router. I will say if you need anything to reach to the 10.5. whatever /16, go through the tunnel. Just now is become up. Where's 10.5. whatever? I have already server here, a Windows server here. I configure it, and the IP 10.5. something, 10.5.3, I guess. So once when I put in the route here, I can reach to this network through the loopback. I will configure loopback as well. Then the remote networks and the VPN. All right, what we're gonna do here, based on the diagram, I have already here Windows server behind the VPN, and the IP address 10.5.3, I guess, something. So the server is ready here. What we're gonna do here in the Cisco router, I will create loopback with this IP 10.20.20.20 or whatever any IP you like. And I will add a static route in Cisco router here, pointing if anyone need 10.5.0, go to the tunnel 110, which is just now become up, right? So I will add this one in Cisco router. I will go to Cisco router here and config key, and I will say IP route. Before that, I would like to add interface loopback 0 IP address 10 10 20 20 20 55. Okay, then exit. This interface is ready now. Then after that, I say IP route, go to 10.5.0.0 255.255.0.0/16. Go through the tunnel 110, which is it's supposed to be ready now for VPN between the GNS3 and Azure. Now I will go to the computer here and check the ping. Once it's done, I will go to Cisco router and check the ping. Let's go to the computer. All right, behind VPN, I created this computer and the IP is 10.534 and I already RDP to it here. So I will try to do ping from here, CMD. I try to do ping to 10.20.20.20 and -T. As you can see, I have a reply here. And this reply is considered the connection through the VPN is completed, as you can see here. I just wanted to show you something. If I go back again here and config key, I remove the static route. Just now I added, right? If I remove the static route and I back to RDP, as you can see here, the ping will be stopped. It will be request timed out because there is no routing available in router to ping to that IP or ping back to that. I reply to that ping from the router. So if I try to ping again, as you can see, I get request timed out. Doesn't work. If I try to add it again, and you will see it will working after that. You see now request timed out, but as you can see here, I have reply and look like this work. How about the ping from the Cisco router itself? IP config, let me check the IP for this guy, 10.5. whatever, so this is the IP of the server. I will go to Cisco router from here, and I will do ping to this IP, but I will source it loopback 0, okay? And repeat 1000 or whatever anytime. As you can see here, I have a reply as well that telling me the VPN is work. Very quick, go to the VPN here. If you remember, I was 0 in and out, but right now the traffic in and out, as you can see here too, as you can see, the traffic is back and forth and the status is connected. All right, this is all the idea about how to connect the GNS3 with Cisco router with Azure through the VPN IPsec tunnel. I hope this information has helped you in some point, and thank you for watching.